Good day, everyone, and thanks for joining us here in the channel. You're tuned into the Market Beast edition. I think I'm going to probably start using Market Sniper. Somebody's going to steal that, I'm pretty sure. Somebody probably out there has it. But either way, I just want to say thank you all. We reached a milestone. This was actually my goal for this month, 7.1K subscribers. We are on our way to many, many more. Thank you. Yes. So, yeah. We're definitely on our way to many more subscribers, and I wanted to stop in and say thank you. I already said that. I actually also wanted to answer a really important question that we received from one of our commenters. I think they're subscribed. I don't see it on my end, but so yeah, for those of you who just wanted to stop in with the celebration, thank you all. Thanks for coming out. I'm actually just going to answer a really important question I think is important and kind of get into this as best as I can. Stick around if you want to join me here. But yeah, I think the celebration is over, guys. Save some wine for me there. Amazing. So from a commenter named, I'm sure I'm not going to say this right, Chatham James Dubs. Best I could do. Thank you for the question. And the question is, first it said, he or she says, amazing video. I love your channel and I'm finding inspiration from your insightful approach. I have a question that I really look forward to hearing your response on. And the question is, if stocks follow sensible, comprehensive trends, to what extent does organized market manipulation by capital organizations, etc., disrupt said trend? So remember, market participants market participants, which can be referred to as capital organizations, when they enter the markets, their intentions are to disrupt the market to the fullest extent. Okay, so I guess in this is GME, by the way, guys. We're going to kind of use this as an example. So let's just say that an organization stepped in here at the top at about 2008, right? Their intentions are to send this stock as close to zero as they possibly can to close their puts. Okay. I mean, I don't know why some are that greedy, but you know, when the market is declining and you're in profits, I think you should take profits. But to answer your question, to what extent they're trying to push it down to the full extent. Now, will they actually have what it takes to push the price down to 1 penny? Because I promise you, they want to push the price down to a penny to close their positions. They would love to get the price down like from $60 or whatever price and close their short position at a penny, because obviously you make more the closer it is to zero, right? So that is what their intentions are. To what extent would all depend on how much of an interest does the market actually hold? Like how many hedge funds or institutions, right? How much of the stock do they actually own, and are they selling? If they're not selling, then you can't push the price to zero because they own stock. So you know what I mean? It's like you can try to manipulate it as much as you possibly can. In fact, let me just kind of do this as an example. I can literally just pull up this chart and know that this was the range for the buyers. This range down here, this is the buyer's range down here, guys. The low is going to be at about $4.69, and the top of this line is going to be at about $10.58. The price should have never entered. This is manipulative. I hate using the word manipulation, but this should have never happened. Like the price action all the way down below $10 and below like all the way down to like $3. If the big market players, if they didn't sell their stock and it's below their level of interest, that should have never happened. That would literally cause an explosion, obviously, as we see here in hindsight. And it doesn't make me sound like a genius because I'm saying that because it actually happened. But in most cases, when you're dealing with a market, let's use GME for an example, and there are market people who own this stock. Let's just say they have a particular range. It can easily be identified if you pull up the higher time frames. If the market goes below their level of interest, all they're doing is buying. And once they buy that asset and it gets back above the level of interest, it's going to cause an explosion, guys. It's because remember, you can only manipulate a market so far. And if the market is not going to go to zero, it's eventually going to move up. So if they're buying below where, if the big players are actually buying below where they actually entered the market or the range where they owned, the actual relevant market participants are actually buying into the stock as well. And that's why I think this huge explosion happened, because it should have never been below the lowest level where it came out in about 2002. Hopefully that actually answered your question, where to what extent can they manipulate the markets? They can only manipulate it as far as the market will allow it to push down, assuming that the big players are not selling. If the big players are not selling, the market will not go like down to zero or below like $1. It's just not going to happen. Okay. So, but again, their intentions are to manipulate it to the full extent. I feel like it was really, really long, drawn out answer, saying the same thing over and over. Okay. So does it simply put a kind of a pause on the inevitable? Absolutely. Because as I just said, if the buyers are not selling, like the big players, if they're not selling their shares into the market, like you can't push the price down any further than where the average range of the big players are holding their assets. Like it's just going to create like which I think answers the last question, is going to create a very unusual behavior in the market. Okay. In other words, that could be to the upside or the downside. So yeah, you're just putting a pause in the inevitable in either direction, upside or the downside. If they're trying to push it down, it's just going to explode up. And if they keep trying to push it up, it's eventually going to collapse. Hopefully that answers that question. Can such manipulation alter the underlying trend so much that it's evolved into a different and distinct trend than the stock has ever seen? And I think it has ever seen before. And I think I just answered that question, but I'll just kind of go over it really quickly. So yes, it can, excuse me, push it into an area where it has never seen before. Let me just read that, guys. I'm so uneducated. I'm telling you. Can such manipulation alter the underlying trend so much that it's evolved into a different and distinct trend than the stock has ever seen before? So to answer, let's just say the distinct trend that it has never seen before would have been to the downside for GME. So that means GME would have gone up and would have had this move to up here, down, right? Now, here's where it would have gone into a distinct trend that it has never seen before. If the big players were actually sold their stock, then yeah, the market would have just continued to bleed out down to $1. Maybe even you can get it for pennies on the dollar. And that's where the markets would actually see price action that it has never seen before if the big market players were actually selling their stock into the market. So since they did not sell their stock into the market, this was not going to happen. Like the price actually collapsed below like $4 and just continued to like crumble below like $4, $3, $2, and all the way down to $1. The big players did not sell their assets into the market. So it was they could not, they tried to push the price down, but all they did was create an explosion. Okay. So yeah, so hopefully that answered your question as far as it evolved into a different and distinctive trend than the stock has ever seen before. Yeah. Can such manipulation alter the underlying trend? Yes, absolutely. So hopefully that answers the question. So, and that could be like in the opposite direction, right? You try to push the price down below a specific level and the big players are not selling, it's going to cause an explosion. And then if you try to push the price up to levels where it just like an sustainable levels, right? Let me see if I could just kind of make an example of something like that. Like if you try to push the price up to unsustainable levels, right, where it just cannot hold, right, and there's just not really much buying interest in the market, it's just going to cause an explosion in the opposite direction, right, to the downside. So yeah, I think I answered that question to the best of my ability. If I didn't, sorry, that's the best I can do there for you. Hopefully this video wasn't too long. That's it, guys. Thank you for joining me here. I just really wanted to answer that question. That was really important. That was like the best question I ever had on the channel with respect to my other questions. I love you guys, serious, all of you. So let's cut out here. Thank you for your time, guys. And I know some of you are like, dude, get to work, man. We got requests out here. I'm gonna get to them, guys. I'm a little burnt out. I'm not even gonna lie to you, but I will get to those. We got some Tesla videos coming out. I realized SNDL needs an update. Genius Brands, CTRM. I'm gonna get to them, guys. Just be patient with me here. Hopefully I get to them tonight. That's it, guys. Thanks for joining me here in the charts, or not the channel. And I'm going to cut out here, guys. Thank you for the subscriptions. Thank you. Good night. No, I'm going to get to work, guys, shortly.